Hey, how y'all doing there? Officer J. I had a couple of requests. People asked me to tell funniest stories that I've ever encountered in law enforcement, and kind of one of the scariest stories. I guess I'll kind of tell you guys both of them at the same time. I'll start with the scariest and then end it with the funniest. That way it doesn't end up on a downer. Alright, as far as the scariest time, it's probably going to be the time where I was closest to actually having to use my weapon in the performance of my duty. Call came out, once again, this is years ago. Call came out about a female having her mother at gunpoint. We get there, female has her mother at gunpoint. The mother isn't making it any better. She's just sitting there berating her, just telling her all kind of things. We're trying to make the mother be quiet so we can calm the daughter down. So we get there, like I said, the girl already has the gun drawn on the mother. Gun is fully loaded. Girl is trained in the military, so she means business. This isn't going to be a shot that she misses, especially at the range that she's at. So we talk to the girl. We finally get her to put the gun down. Mom escalates the situation. It's like, hey, you can't even kill me, right? So we're sitting here like, man, be quiet. So at this point in time, the girl actually goes to reach for the gun that she already put down. This was the first and probably the only time in my entire career where I actually felt that I was potentially going to have to use my weapon. Because at this point, I know most people understand, so the weapon being drawn at the first point, that's already like a huge red flag. But the moment we get her to put it down, okay, threats neutralized, we don't have to worry about anything. It's being done peacefully. Now, the moment she reaches for the gun, especially after she just put it down, that's like 20 red flags at once. It's like, hey, you already talked her down, and now she's reaching back for it, for her to use the gun again. At that point, you know, she reaches down. Luckily, there was another officer that just came from behind and like just tackled her before she could even get to the gun. But it was myself and two of the officers, and all our guns was trained on her. That's probably the scariest day in my law enforcement career, because that was the day that I potentially almost had to take a life. It wasn't scary as far as what I believe would have happened to me. It's just, you know, something that could have happened to somebody else, and I'm glad there was another officer there to prevent that. As far as like one of the funniest things, I've been doing this for a better part of a decade. There's a lot of stories, and I guess we'll get to them all eventually, but we'll probably just start off with this one. We get a call about a naked lady at the gas station. We get there. It was a lady. She was off of her medicine. Don't know what type of mental issue she had, but this woman's fully nude. She has the gas pump at the gas station. She's pouring gasoline all over her body and asking everybody in the parking lot, including us officers that get there. She says she just wants a hug. But mind you, she still has the gas pump in her hand, and there's still gas coming out. Now, to this day, I still don't understand why the cashier didn't turn the pump off. She just allowed the pump to run. So I had another officer that's like, you know, I'm going to tase her and then we can take her down. And I'm sitting there, I'm not going to say the officer's name, but I'm like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, she has an open gas line. She's covered in gasoline. I'm like, you're going to blow us all up. And then I forgot the part. She had a machete in her hand. So she had gasoline all over her body, an open gas line, and a machete. Where the machete came from, why did she have a machete? Don't even know. So we're trying to remain professional, but the situation is so bizarre that you don't even think about. When you go to work, especially in this career, you don't even think about, you know, that type of incident happen. You know, worst thing, you like, oh, there might be a shootout, there might be a wreck, somebody might die, you might have to do a family notification. But if you used to say, hey, at the beginning of my shift, that there's going to be a fully naked lady at the gas station pouring gasoline on herself while holding a machete, asking people for hugs, you wouldn't be able to make that up at the beginning of your shift. So luckily, the girl decides to be like, yeah, we'll give you a hug, you know, we'll give you a hug, but you got to put the gasoline down or whatever, you know. So luckily she hung the pump up, or not really hung it up, but she just let it go. tossing the machete down, and she just kind of like ran towards us to give us a hug. You know, we had to do a little soft takedown. I'm not going to go into full details about that. And then the ambulance service had to come and, you know, take control of her to get her medicated, because obviously something was off with her. She was transported to the local hospital where she was treated, and I don't know what happened after that. It was nothing criminal, so it was nothing really that we needed to follow up on. It was a mental issue. But the reason why I told these two stories is mainly just to show that there's different sides of law enforcement that most people don't know. Everybody thinks that it's like working wrecks or, you know, constant guns ablazing like you see on TV, you know, cops, CSI Miami, NCIS, you know, all those good things. But there's so many things that happen on a different daily basis that you don't know what your day brings to you. Some days you'll have calls to the point where it's like you feel like you don't have a moment to breathe. Other days you'll have calls where you're just like, wow, that's it. You know, an alarm call for the whole day. And then it's an alarm call at, like, you know, a place where somebody just got home and they forgot to turn their alarm off. So it's like it's like a non-priority call, but it's still a call. Then the people also ask, you know, like, what's the daily life of a cop? And it's like almost everything that you can think of. You know, there's some days where my job requires me to be a counselor to some people, you know, to sit there and tell somebody that's everything's gonna be all right after they possibly just had the worst day in their life. Other days, you know, we have to take somebody's family member out of the home. Kids don't understand that daddy or mommy or auntie or uncle just committed a crime, but we still have to be able to try to get this person out of the home because of whatever crime they committed, while still trying to, you know, remain positive in the face of these kids. You know, other days is just assisting other agencies, you know, it's just being a cop isn't just so black and white, like you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. You know, some days you're gonna laugh, some days you're gonna cry. I'll be honest with you, there's some days where I thought to myself, I was like, man, I don't know if I can do this, you know, for the foreseeable future. There's other days where I'm like, I couldn't see myself doing other things. You know, like I said, there's a lot of in between with those good and bad. Some days where I can laugh at a call, almost every call, unless, you know, there was loss of life, like serious injury. Almost every call that you have, at the end of the day, in hindsight, you can look back and laugh on it, because you can sit there and be like, okay, everybody made it out. Now we can kind of decompress and laugh about it. You know, there are certain situations where somebody like fought with me and ended up taking a good lick on the chin. You know, at the time, you know, you're super aggravated, like you got punched in the face. But then 3 months down the line, you know, you're talking to another officer like, hey, remember when that guy punched you in the face? It's like, yeah, I mean, you know, it's a laugh because you made it out. That guy made it out. Everybody went home safe. He probably went to jail, but, you know, at the end of the day, everybody went home or went to jail, but nobody lost their life or was seriously injured. Like I said, we're going to do more stories like this. We're also going to do the questions. I plan on getting people from different professions. You know, we're going to have different conversations. Not going to all be law enforcement related. But if you guys have any suggestions, just drop it in the comment section right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.